ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं च स्तुतिं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु गोत्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, Verse 12. तद्वात्मकृत्य हतकृत्य महान् कबन्धं सख्यं विधाय कपिभिर्दयिता गतिं तैः बुद्ध्वा तमालिनि हते प्लवगेन्द्रसैन्यैर्वेलामगात् समनुजोज भवार्चिताङ्घ्रिः. Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Shiva, had assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kabanda, and after making friends with the monkey chiefs, killing Vali, and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. When Ravana kidnapped Sita, he was obstructed on the way by Jatayu, a large bird. But the powerful Ravana defeated Jatayu in the fight and cut his wing. When Ramachandra was searching for Sita, he found Jatayu almost dead and was informed that Sita has been carried off by Ravana. When Jatayu died, Lord Ramachandra did the duty of a son by performing the funeral ceremony, and then he made friends with the monkeys to deliver Sita Devi. So this we all know, Jatayu, vulture. Jatayu was a vulture. So we can understand that there are devotees of the Lord in various bodies, not just human bodies, like Garuda, Jatayu, etc. So Jatayu, actually, he sees Sita Devi being abducted by Ravana, and he yeah, because he had a relationship with Dasharatha, Jatayu. So like fatherly. So which is why Ramachandra actually did the duty of a son by performing funeral ceremony, because Jatayu was friends with Dasharatha. So Ramachandra looked at him with that parental affection. Um, and yeah, Jatayu fights vigorously with Ravana, preventing him from flying because he was flying in the air. But then obviously Ravana was too powerful for Jatayu, and finally he cuts off its wings. Um, and then by the time Ramachandra and Lakshmana, Rama and Lakshmana come there, so Jatayu is almost on the verge of death. And then they have this conversation, and Jatayu tells him that he was uh, connected to his father, and that mm, all the history, and then he dies. And Lord Rama, which is why, Krishna did not much, I mean, there's not much description about all this. Of course, he went when all the Kurukshetra, after the Kurukshetra war, he went uh, along with all the relatives to the Ganga, etc. That description is there. But Rama here performed funeral ceremony in the position of a son. Mm. Now, after that, there is this demon, Kabanda. Kabanda was, who was Kabanda? Kabanda was, he got a curse. Forgot. This life. Anyway, so he had a very weird body. Weird body was he didn't have a trunk, like he didn't have legs. He had only trunk, upper part of the body, and long hands, like many feet long hands. And of course, he was his blessing also was that he was going to be delivered by Rama, by the Supreme Lord. So his mode of survival was to catch, and he had a huge mouth. So just huge mouth, and that was his upper part of the body, and long hands. And he was in the forest, and any creature which he whatever puts his eyes on, he would just eat the Rakshasa. So Rama and Lakshmana, they come there, and then at one point, Kabanda actually holds both of them. One hand Rama, one hand Lakshmana, and he's about to devour them. Uh, then Rama displays his power and actually then orders Lakshmana to cut off his hands. And after he cuts off his hands, then Kadamba reveals, saying that, his past life, I'm not able to recollect. And then he says that, I'm supposed to be delivered by you. Then Rama orders Lakshmana to, dig a huge hole, big enough to put that whole huge body of Kabanda. And then, yeah, somehow they managed to kill him. So even though that Jiva knew that he was supposed to be delivered by Rama, but still he by virtue of his that body he had got, he displayed enmity towards Rama and Lakshmana. So after Kabanda, then yeah, the important part uh, of Ramayana starts, which is so Sugriva now has been by then was thrown out by Vali from Kishkinda, and so he was on a mountain, right? Uh, um, Shwashringa, is it? What is that mountain? Okay. I want to read Ramayana again, long time, forgetting details. So then from there he sees these two men, human beings walking, and then Sugriva is covered, right? So because of being oppressed by Vali continuously, right? So he thought that, okay, maybe Vali wants to kill me, so he sent these two people in human form. So then he's doubting, and so he calls his Hanuman is also there with Sugriva on that mountain. So he calls Hanuman and tells, why don't you please go and check it out? Check out who these people are. Hanumanta says, no problem. Hanumanta was a great warrior, and he had various other um, like he could change his form at will and so many things. So he goes in the form of a Brahmana and approaches Rama and Lakshmana and asks him, saying that, who are you? What are you doing here? What is your purpose? And then Lakshmana explains, saying, this is my brother Rama, the son of Dasharatha, and this has happened, and his wife has been abducted, and we are trying to find her and all that. And then Hanuman is Tikshna Buddhi, very sharp intelligence. So then he is very happy. Then he says, okay, then I would. So then he realizes, okay, these are not Vali's people. So, and looking at Rama, obviously his love, his devotion for the Lord would have got awakened because he's an eternal servant of the Lord. So then he takes both of them, puts them on his shoulder. He regains his original form. Then you and enlarges it, huge form, with Rama and Lakshmana on his shoulder, and then he flies to the mountain, and then Sugriva is there. Sugriva is still doubting, who are they? Who are they? And then Hanuman explains that this is what it is. And then at that point of time, Rama and Sugriva make a pact, saying, I'm going to help you, you help me. Rama said, I'm going to help you regain your kingdom because Vali is not the right person to be on the throne because he is rascal. And Sugriva also says, I'm going to help retrieve Sita Devi. So then in front of fire, they, make this vow to help each other out. And so that's the end of that episode. So that is up till here. So then he went to the beach, it's saying. So then after that, obviously, we know that famous incident that Sugriva then goes and, uh, challenges Vali for a fight. Then Wali is anyway proud. He's anyway a monkey, and then on top of that, very arrogant, proud of his strength. So he becomes very puffed up, and then he says, "Sugriva will die today at my hands." And Tara, who is his wife, so she's very intelligent. So she tells Wali, saying that, Vali, see, you be careful, because where from did Sugriva suddenly get this strength, get this courage? He's such a coward and he's been running away from you. Now suddenly he's come with so much courage that he's standing and challenging me. Definitely he should have got the support of some greater power. Nah, Wali just dismisses it off, saying that what, it's okay, whoever it is, I'm powerful enough to kill anybody. And he storms out of his palace and then sees Sugriva. Of course, now we know that Rama was hiding somewhere far away, right? And so then first initially Rama, Sugriva and Wali, they start fighting. Sugriva is so very, very powerful compared to Sugriva. So Sugriva gets beaten up royally. He is actually about to lose his life. Then by that time, somehow he escapes from there and comes to where Rama was saying and saying, "What is this? You sent me to fight, and you are supposed to kill him." Hmm. Then Rama says, "No, no, both of you look alike. So I didn't know who was who. Now you wear this." Then he gives, I think, a garland or something, and then he says, "Now you go back, and then I'll recognize you by this, and I'll kill Wali." So again, Sugriva goes back, and then fight continues for some time, and then Rama fires his arrow at Wali, and then he approaches Wali when Wali is about to die, and Wali is he becomes very upset. He says, "What is this? I thought, I came to know from my spies that Sugriva was with you, but I thought Rama is, is dharmic person. He's not going to do things like this, fire from behind, and especially when two people are fighting. So this is against dharma. So you've done a great sin." So like this, some form of dharma, Wali speaks. And then Rama says, "What dharma for to kill an animal? There's no dharma to kill animal. All that dharma is for in human beings, when there is fight between human beings. There's no injunction to kill animals." And then he says that you've taken over Sugriva's kingdom, his wife, Ruma, and you're enjoying. So you are illegal. What you're doing is wrong. So it's good that you die, so that you don't commit more sinful activities. And then Wali dies, and then uh, Sugriva becomes the king. Right now, Sugriva becomes king, but then until now he had this tension of being under, Wali. So now he's free. Nobody's there. Now he's the undisputed king. So then he takes Tara also, who is his brother's wife, to enjoy with her, and then with his own wife, and he's intoxicated and just loses all sense of his duty. And that time, actually, Ramayana describes that it was rainy season. So Rama and Lakshmana were also indoors in a cave, and Sugriva was enjoying himself in the palace. And then the rainy season stops, and then Lakshmana comes to Sugriva, and he becomes very angry. Actually, Lakshmana is like, "I'm going to kill you. You gone crazy. You said you're going to help Rama, and then you're now you got your kingdom, you got what you wanted, and then you now just forgotten your promise, and then you're enjoying yourself. So I'm going to kill you." Then Sugriva kind of falls at his feet. He comes to his senses because he was totally drunk, intoxicated. Then he says, "No, no, no, that's not correct. It's not that I've forgotten my word. Just that, it was rainy season and I wanted it to stop. And I've already sent word to to all the different species of monkeys, which are going to come very soon to help uh, Rama." So then, of course, Sugriva goes and asks for forgiveness from Rama. And then by the time all these monkey chiefs, they all come. And then there's one meeting. And then Sugriva sends four teams in four directions, saying that, "Okay, you go and find Sita Devi, and you have some stipulated time within which you have to find her and come back." Let me see what is the next verse. Okay, so this is still long way. Ah, so you have to come back by then. So then three teams, they go in different directions, and then they are not able to find Sita Devi. So they come back and report to Sugriva, saying, "Sorry, we went all over the world in different directions, but we're not able to find." Now, only those who had gone south of Bharata, right, towards the southern tip of Bharata, which was the very capable team of Hanuman, Angada, Jambavan, etc. So uh, they go to the southern tip there, and on their way, they meet who's the brother of Jatayu? What is it? Who's Jatayu's brother? What's wrong? Uh,
Sampati, Prabhuji.
Sampati, thank you. So he meets Sampati. So then Sampati is seeing all these monkeys from his treetop, and he sees, oh no, 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 these are, after a long time I've got some food. Let me eat them. And then obviously so there's some conversation that Hanuman has, and after that, and then Sampati becomes close, and he tells about how Jatayu. Then he hears about Jatayu's death, right? And then he becomes very compassionate, saying that okay, these people are not enemies, so I'm not going to kill them. And then he describes about how Jatayu and himself had so much strength that because of their strength they become proud and they actually flew up to the sun, and then becoming very angry, then he throws them back to the ground, and then at that time Sampati loses his wings, so Sampati can't fly now. But then Sampati says that, see, I actually have some very special gift of long vision. I can see far, far away. And then he says, actually, when Jatayu's this one was being described, he says, actually, I saw somebody going this way in the way on the skyways. And then he says that yeah, he had a lady with him, and he went towards the south. Now, once this much details came, then they all became hopeful, saying that, oh, maybe this is Ravana and he took Sita Devi. Then further inquiry, then Sampati says, okay, now I can see for a long distance. Now let me see towards the south. And then he sees towards south, and he says, I see that lady who was taken. She's there in that island far away. So then they all become very hopeful. Then then after that, they continue their journey, uh, and so many other things happen. Actually, at one point of time, they are not able to find Sita, and this whole team, they decide to give up their life. They say that we won't go back. Can't go back and tell Sugriva saying or Rama saying that we couldn't find Sita, so we'll all commit suicide. Then Hanuman Hanuman actually explains, saying that what is the use of dying? Let's put our effort. There is still some time. So the last deadline was just about to get over. So then they persevere because of Hanuman's perseverance, and finally they figure that okay, Sita Devi is there, and then they go back. They go back to inform, uh, and then on the way they ransack a garden because they were so hungry they had not eaten anything, etc., etc. Some funny things happen, and then they go back and inform Sugriva and Rama, saying that this is what it is. Then the Ramachandra is very happy, and then huge army, starts marching towards south. Then they go and they put camp on the beach of the ocean. Okay. यद्रोष विभ्रम विवृत्त कटाक्षपाता संभ्रांत नक्रम करो भय गीर्ण घोषः सिंधुशिरशरणं परिगृह्य रूपी पादारविन्दमुपगम्य बभाषयेतत्. After reaching the beach, Lord Ramachandra fasted for 3 days, awaiting the arrival of the ocean personified. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger, and simply by glancing over the ocean, all the living entities within it, including the crocodiles and sharks, were agitated by fear. Then the personified ocean fearfully approached Lord Ramachandra, taking all paraphernalia to worship him. Falling at the Lord's lotus feet, the personified ocean spoke as follows. So obviously, now Lord Ramachandra, they all came to the tip of the ocean, and then they're wondering, saying that, okay, how are we going to cross? Then somebody gives a suggestion to Lord Ramachandra, saying that, we'll petition the ocean god, Samudra Deva, and then hopefully he can help us because it's his waters, like that. So then Lord Ramachandra prays and waits for 3 days. Supreme Lord, he prayed to the ocean god and then waited for 3 days, but then he didn't come. Then he becomes angry and he actually takes up his bow and strings the arrow, and then by the time the uh, ocean god is like becomes frightened, and then he approaches and offers some prayers, so which is being described. Natvam vayam jadadhiyo nu vidam bhuman kutasthamadi purusham jagatamatisham yat sattvatas suragana rajasah prajesha manyoscha bhutapataya sa bhavan guneshah. So he glorifies, oh, all pervading Supreme Person. We are dull minded and did not understand who you are. But now we understand that you are the Supreme Person, the Master of the entire universe, the unchanging and original personality of Godhead. The demigods are infatuated with the mode of goodness, the Prajapatis with the mode of passion, and the Lord of Ghosts, uh, Bhutapati, with the mode of ignorance. But you are the master of all these qualities. So suddenly he came to his senses. And when we are dealing with superior personality, the first step actually is even before we can speak to that person is glorification. So the ocean god, he comes and glorifies. The word Jadadhiyaha refers to intelligence like that of an animal. A person with such intelligence cannot understand the Supreme Person of Godhead. Without being beaten, an animal cannot understand the purpose of a man. Similarly, those who are dull minded cannot understand the Supreme Lord, but when punished severely by the modes of nature, they begin to understand him. This is normal. This looks like, so basically in Kali Yuga, everybody is animalistic. Everybody has intelligence like that of an animal because just by hearing, they will not learn. So they have to be beaten. Mm. So I have experience of this because of my animal like intelligence. Though I read Shastra, I couldn't practically apply any of those very easily. So then Krishna mercifully put me through problems, mm, so that only after being punished severely, yeah, mm, that we can actually come out. Of course, now after so many years of severe punishment and suffering, now at least maybe next time around I won't wait for so long. Hopefully, I'll try to rectify myself before. Yeah, and Krishna is also in that process of removing more contamination from the heart. So yeah, but we should learn. Saying that we should not wait to be punished too much. Yeah, very rare are those souls like sannyasis and exalted brahmacharis who can just by hearing, just of course it's also not that somebody just comes to the stage of a sannyasi or brahmachari overnight, right? So they would have done sufficient bhakti to come to that stage. And only then they can, that all that renunciation becomes second nature, right? So for those of us who have not made so much progress, maybe we might take time to learn, but then because Krishna is very merciful, he somehow, as long as we remain in the association of qualified devotees, somehow he will help us to overcome. Though by ourselves we would possibly not be able to do that. So then, when he gives us a little punishment to wake us up, then in the association of quality devotees, we should recognize this punishment, recognize what is the reason or what is the rectification required, and possibly, depending on the mercy of Krishna, try to overcome, at least put some sincere efforts in that direction. This is what is expected. Otherwise, there's no point in these punishments, especially for devotees and especially for initiated devotees, right? There's no point in punishment. But punishment is to actually help us overcome our anarthas. We have to understand this. And we have to somehow pray to Krishna for intelligence. And Krishna is very merciful. Sometimes he sends us other devotees to help. Sometimes it could be just instruction. Sometimes there is somebody who's there with us to help us, literally. Right? But the whole idea is for us to actually rectify ourselves. Now, unfortunately, we see devotees going through life situations and not learning anything from it, um, which is unfortunate, right? So, which means that they have not had the opportunity of proper Shravanam. One reads Prabhupada's books daily and with attention, then we'll realize all these things, because our heart gradually starts to become more and more pure. So, we should not wait for severe punishment, and when some punishment comes, we should not pray for it to stop. When we pray for it to stop, which means basically that we don't want cleansing, we want to remain contaminated, and then which is not the idea of this human life, and that's not the idea of us becoming devotees also, right? We didn't become devotees to have a comfortable material life. If that was the reason, then we are on a lower platform of devotion, and then which means that we don't want Krishna. We don't want to achieve Krishna. But that's very sad. Because so many lifetimes we've wasted. Now, somehow, fortunately, we come to the shelter of Prabhupada. Then we should realize, okay, am I going to waste more lives? And then when am I ever going to go to Krishna, or whether I'm even going to go to Krishna? I'm looking at my current state, because after getting association with such a powerful Acharya as Prabhupada, if we are not able to make serious progress, then we should be concerned. And and it's always good to either have fear or guilt or any of these little bit negative emotions to propel us, to push us in the direction of progress. Hmm? It's not good to either not have fear, not have guilt feeling, and just be very carefree, like, who cares? Which is not very good. So then these things happen in the lives of devotees, and we should feel fortunate. If we should feel fortunate that, oh, Krishna is actually recognizing me, he's looking at me, and he's helping me out. And that will happen only for sincere devotees. It's not going to happen for those who don't want to make progress. It's not going to happen. Mm, This is the thing, right? Those who want to achieve Krishna but at the same time stuck because of some anarthas, Krishna will help them. Krishna will help them. And obviously, that help comes a little bit of difficulty associated, physical, mental, otherwise, etc. Right? So, but we should depend on Krishna, and our whole intention should be sincere, saying that no, I just want to get out of all this nonsense. I want to go to Krishna. I want to serve him in Goloka. Then the miseries also become stepping stones, and we feel so happy, and we recognize Krishna's mercy, and we feel fortunate, saying that Krishna is helping, and we become confident also, saying that okay, now I know that I will make progress, I will get over my problems. Uh, but if we remain dull-minded like animals and not recognize it, don't not have association of devotees. Now I see so many devotees. Practically, they are going through small, big problems. Chota mota relationship problems, financial problems, problems with other devotees, etc. But what they don't do is they don't sit back and think, saying that why am I going through all this? Of course, some are very new in Krishna consciousness. So obviously, it's their material nature which they have to curb, which they are not able to recognize. And they are not in a position to come and take guidance. So it becomes a bit of a problem for them. And then there are initiated devotees. At least, okay, neophyte devotees will not be, non-initiated devotees will not be, they don't have the required awareness. At least initiated devotees should think, saying that what is it that I am supposed to learn from this situation? What is Krishna teaching me, which I'm not able to understand, because otherwise I don't need to go through this situation. This is simple thing for all of us to understand. We will have some problem only till our learning. And as soon as we get whatever learning we need, then this problem stops. And this is not material for this for devotees, I'm saying. This is by mm, my experience. I see that when we learn, then Krishna mercifully stops that whatever so-called suffering we were undergoing. So we have to recognize, this is where quality association comes in. Mm. We know that we are in Kali Yuga, and we could have done nasty things in our past lives. Uh, but or even in this life, possibly before coming to Krishna consciousness. But if we are sincere and we want to get over all the nonsense, then Krishna will help us. Krishna will help us. So Prabhupada is saying when one is distressed, he goes to the church or temple to worship, but when opulent, he forgets the Lord. This is true with devotees also. We don't forget the Lord, but we do very official bhakti. The Kunti Maharani says, no, one who is akinchana gochara, one who is available for the, those who don't have anything. Such devotees can call out feelingly to the Lord. Otherwise, we might call out Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare, but no feeling, no nothing, mechanical chanting. Uh, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. And I'm inviting devotees to actually come and chant with us. On a Sunday, you come. You see actually devotees all so sincerely try to chant. And I feel very happy because when I was so many years in Krishna consciousness, I didn't have so much sincerity. Actually, I was staying very close to our temple in Sheshadripuram, but I never had so much sincerity. I used to go few days like this, whenever I feel like I used to go for Mangalarti or chanting in the temple like that. I didn't have so much sincerity. And there are so many devotees, in spite of their busy schedules, they come and they try to chant sincerely, which is so nice because that's the only thing which is going to help us make progress. So even those who have troubled minds, body, whatever, right, because of past karma, etc., even they can overcome all those because that we are still continuing to suffer is an indication of anarthas, and in anarthas are very, very like effortlessly removed by quality chanting. Effortlessly, it'll just go. But for which we need to be in that association. We need to get inspired looking at other devotees. We need to chant sincerely. So when devotees do all this, then obviously they'll make progress. Hmm. Therefore, punishment by the Lord through material nature is necessary in human society, for without it men forget the supremacy of the Lord due to their dull, blunt intelligence, which basically means that we continue to sense gratify, try to enjoy ourselves independent of Krishna. So only when we have punishment, then we realize, oh, I am small, Krishna is Lord, Krishna is the supreme, I have to serve him. Then, okay, there's nobody else to help but Krishna, so I depend on him, I surrender to him. Now, all this will happen only when there are problems, not when there are no problems. Which is why Kunti Maharani also prayed, saying, no, let those problems happen again. Because that way we are going to remember you, and you're also going to remember us. And one who remembers you, what is the question of rebirth? So he's not going to come back to this material world. So she says, okay, I want to achieve you. So let me have more problems so that I will continue to think about you, and you also think about me. And then I'm not going to come back here. I'm going to go back and serve you in the spiritual world. So this should be our mood in general. Not that okay, might not be as exalted as Kunti Maharani, but at least let's not remain attached to our material positions. Let's at least push forward somehow. Difficult is difficult. I'm experiencing. It's not easy, right? But we should try sincerely. We should sincerely try, and then Krishna mercifully will give us help. He's always there with us. Okay, so I'll stop here. If anybody has any comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu.
yeah,
Prabhu, you mentioned that we need to have one quality, like guilt and fear, right?
yeah, yeah.
For
Some,
us to progress.
yeah.
But my question is like, if we have guilt and fear, right? So we will not be able to propagate gratefulness or love towards the God.
Yeah, but you see, gratefulness is a later. First of all, there has to be recognition of our fallen state. No,
Okay.
see, we might be grateful to God. There are so many people who are grateful to God, saying that, like Prabhupada says, God, give us our daily bread. Oh, you have given our daily bread, so we are very grateful to you. But that gratefulness is okay. It's what should we say? It's better than being uncultured and not recognizing Krishna's mercy on all of us. But that's more of a non-devotional feeling. Meaning non-devotional in the sense even non-devotees express that feeling. Let me put it that way. Even those who are not devotees express that feeling. They go to the temple, they thank, and then ask also, right? So we don't want gratefulness. We want first to actually recognize our fallen state. Mm. And we want our little bit, we want to push ourselves to make progress on the path of bhakti. Right. And gratefulness anyway we have gratefulness, right? It's not that guilt or fear will prevent gratefulness. Guilt or fear will possibly make us little bit more feelingly connected with the Lord. Saying, I don't have anybody else but Krishna. This is important. Gratefulness means, okay, Krishna, you are giving, please giving, keep giving. I will also say thank you. And so it doesn't go beyond just very official kind of like Christian kind of mindset, right? God give us our daily bread. Okay, God gave us daily bread, so we thank Him, and again we ask that for Him from Him. So that's not what we want. We want us to make progress, and for us to make progress, we need to become a little bit serious about our situation, right? About how badly stuck we are. Now, if somebody has fear of this material world, then they will depend on Krishna. Or if somebody has guilt for whatever, like, when we have karma phala, then we have to have guilt saying that, oh, I did some nonsense in the past because of which I'm suffering. Then there are chances that we will come to Krishna and either ask for forgiveness, ask for protection, something, some personal kind of just thank you kind of relationship builds, right? And it's important because Artho Artharthi Jignasu Gnani, right? Otherwise, if you're not Artho Artharthi, generally we find it difficult to come to Krishna. Very rare are those souls who have already crossed these stages in their previous life, so come to Krishna directly just to serve him. But most of us have to, go through some suffering, come to Krishna for help without anybody else, without any option. Then we start to make progress. And what I'm saying is, unfortunate are those who don't come and get to that situation, who just remain just outward, external only all their life. They're devotees, but they never got any close attached. They didn't get closely attached to Krishna, and it's very unfortunate. We can't actually see in ISKCON, just ending up doing Vaidhi Bhakti all our devotional life is a failure, as in it's not ideal, right? Vaidhi Bhakti is only for some time. Because the process that has been given to us by Prabhupada and Acharyas very naturally arouse Raganuga in us. Naturally. We don't have to do anything. But if we don't do all this, and then we are just stuck saying that, okay, let me have a comfortable material life, I will thank Krishna, I will ask him for other material benefits. It's not going to happen. As in, we're not going to make progress. So then what happens? Some distressful situation has to come. And then either because of fear or, something else, we go beyond our transactional relationship with Krishna and depend on him, connect with him with some, more deeper emotions. And then maybe we can hope to wake up. Otherwise, we just remain where we are.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yeah. And see this gratefulness and thanking Krishna, okay, material life, everything is okay. Thank you, Krishna. We just become, complacent and satisfied, happy. Okay, Krishna is giving everything. I'm doing bhakti to him, he's giving everything. Let this continue like this. But then what about our progress? Okay, material life got sorted out, but then how are we going to go to Krishna? That's not going to happen if our material life is fully comfortable and we ourselves in our previous lives we have not made so much progress, which means that this life we have to put some effort to go towards Krishna. So then it becomes difficult because now simply by doing Shravanam, nobody will change. They'll say, nice class, that's all. Very few souls, when they hear a class and they feel so impacted by that, they, bring about a change in their life. Very, very few. Mostly people want to just appreciate. And then why appreciate? Because it looks very difficult for them. And then they say, okay, very nice class. And then forget about it because it's difficult for them to implement. Mm. So it's important that we just don't remain on that comfortable material life platform. Let material life be a roller coaster ride, uh, rocking boat ride, right? But it's important that otherwise we're not going to wake up. We're not going to wake up. Prabhupada is writing it. I mean, I'm just expanding on whatever he has written, right? In a way that we can understand and appreciate in our own lives. Because otherwise, those four statements saying that, Lord, only after being punished. Uh, but even after being punished, if you don't come, then what is it? What does it mean? That we are really low consciousness. Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, I know you mentioned earlier also, but just to refresh our memories, right? So, how to get out of that comfort, that complacent zone?
Mm. Okay, two options. What are the two options? Anybody wants to guess?
I can remember one statement from you, Prabhu.
Mm.
Right. So, one is like to do things beyond your comfort zone.
Correct.
Of
Correct.
course, of course, to get out of that complacent
No,
zone,
no, that
you have to do.
yeah, for that,
You
there's
have
something else
to.
we need. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, beyond comfort zone in the sense like, so you said, yeah, step out, book
uh,
distribution, take more service, right? So those things that are not in your comfort zone,
yeah.
that is one thing I could
I'm going to
remember.
add to that. I'm going to add to that now. So two things you can do in addition to what Vinod Prabhu already shared. Well, two things are coming to my mind. One is pray like Kunti Maharani for problems, if you have the heart for it. And if you don't have the heart for it, pray to get a very strong association. Somebody who's going to pull us out of our comfort zone. Only these two are possible. There's nothing else. And of course, a general prayer saying that pull me out, but then we don't want to actually come out. So those prayers will not work in this case, right? So either pray for saying that no, put me into some trouble so that I can I can come out of this comfort zone. If we're not bold enough to do that, then pray for some very strong association of some devotees who can actually pull us out, to whom we can surrender. Of course, see, this is the whole idea of initiation, right? Initiation is that powerful association that we are seeking. But again, unfortunately, initiation becomes a formality. We don't hear seriously what our guru is saying. We don't want to strictly follow what he's saying. So then that relationship or that option also becomes somewhat not effective, right? So then what we need somebody in our proximity to pull us. We need a representative of guru standing in that position, whom we respect and who we want to follow. And then, provided that person has already gone out of his comfort zone and is advanced enough, then he can help us come out of this comfort zone. Otherwise, yeah, if we just say, okay, I'm going to keep doing Shravanam, yeah, it's good, provided we take Shravanam seriously. Otherwise, it's just good, okay, nice, like I said, nice class. That's all, nothing else. But some people are too attached to even hearing is only Leela. Is only Leela. Now, which is okay because Krishna Leela or whatever, Bhagavata, whatever is there connected to the Lord is all so powerful. It's actually supremely pure as well. But then for that to be effective, we should do it continuously. Satatam. If you want to come out of all our nonsense by just Shravanam Kirtanam, 24 hours, then you will come out. No way we will not come out because the process is so powerful. But we don't have so much time. Who has the time to sit and do bhakti for 24 hours? So we need some thing which condenses that 24 hours effect, to few hours effect, which requires powerful pulling, you know, and that is where the power of strong association comes in, so that we hear and then, we are pushed to do certain things. So then that shortens that. So even though we are not doing 24 hours, maybe we're doing 2, 3, 4 hours. But then because of that powerful association, we get pulled out of our comfort zones. Otherwise, it'll just take a long time for most grihasthas who don't have normally time to do sadhana for more than 3, 4 hours a day, right? And not given up their freedom to somebody, it just becomes very slow. That's all. Is that okay, Vinod Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, you can close. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।